you want to talk about Medicare? The president says Medicare needs to be on the table. The vice president says Medicare needs to be on the table. Steny Hoyer, the number 2 Democrat in the House, says Medicare needs to be on the table. It is on the table in the discussions related to the debt ceiling.
But not in its current form. Well, if it passes as part of the debt ceiling vote, it's got to be different, does it not, than the Ryan plan?
As you pointed out from my comments in the lead-in, the Democrats have no plan at all. We had 4 votes in the Senate.
Fair enough, but Leader, my question is, if there's going to be a deal on the debt ceiling, on Medicare reform, would you concede it's got to look a lot different than the Ryan plan?
No, it's on the table. We're going to discuss what ought to be done. Everybody agrees something ought to be done, except the Democrats in the Senate, who have no plan at all.
But you're not even, you haven't even said publicly whether you're for the Ryan plan, so you're not behind that version of Medicare reform.
I voted for the Ryan budget this week.
You didn't whip up your colleagues, though. You didn't try to get additional support.
We had competing versions in the Senate. Senator Toomey, a Republican senator in the Senate, had a plan. Senator Paul had a plan. The only people who didn't vote for any plan at all, by the way, we had a vote on the president's budget, didn't get a single solitary vote. Not a single Democratic senator voted for the president's budget.
But do you support Ryan's reforms?
The guy that you're going to have on after me thinks that all we're doing right now is positioning for the 2012 election. What about the country? What about the next generation, not the next election?
I'm just trying to understand where you are, particularly on how to change Medicare.
Well, let me tell you,
you don't believe that the Ryan plan is the basis of where you're going to get agreement.
I voted for the Ryan budget
but
this
do you
week.
believe it's really the base? Because it failed. It's not going anywhere.
Is negotiate the deal with you, David. With all due respect, the President of the United States, the only person in America who can sign a bill into law, is at the table through the Vice President, and we are discussing a package that will begin to deal with deficit and debt.
But, Leader, I'm not asking you to negotiate. I'm just asking you to help in the interest of what I assume you want, which is building some kind of political consensus around reform, having a discussion publicly on television like this and saying, what are the contours of that could actually get some Democratic support?
Well, this is not the place to do that. The place to do it is in the discussions with the one individual out of 307 million Americans who can sign a bill into law. And those discussions are underway. And I can assure you, David, that to get my vote to raise the debt ceiling, for whatever that's worth, my one vote, Medicare will be a part of it. The details of that are yet to be negotiated with
But do you have to keep the basis of the Medicare program in place? Is that your view? Because that's not what Ryan is proposing, and then you can do other things.
How many times you ask me to kind of craft what the Medicare fix should be like, I'm not going to give that answer to you today because that's a subject to be negotiated with the President of the United States.
But do you understand that